One small thing. Together, me and you. Skystar walked through her small town, a cheerful smile plastered on her face. The ocean splashed on the beach and the smell of salt traveled on the breeze. That would ruffle her yellow and blue dress every now and then. She waved to people as they passed her, knowing most of them by name. She was on her way home, excited to see if her long-distance friend Pinkie Pie had sent her another letter. The two friends have been sending letters back and forth for about a year now since they met. But they had been a while since they met up in person. Skystar hoped that her friend could do so, seeing as she couldn't exactly just leave. And with a sort of overprotective mother and no car, she didn't exactly have a way to see her best friend. Plus, Pinkie Pie had college, which meant she didn't have time to come over. She walked with a skip in her step, humming her favorite song. And once she reached the house, she eagerly opened her mailbox to find a single, lonely letter inside. She grabbed it out and ran inside, reaching into her backpack to get her keys to unlock the door. Once she got it open, she bounced inside and grabbed her letter opener, excited to open up the envelope to see what her best friend had said. "Mom, I'm home!" she called, though she knew that her mother probably wasn't really home. Novo was usually busy with work. She was the head of a big company. That's a name Skystar couldn't really ever remember. Hippo something? Anyway, her job made her travel far, far away. Almost halfway across their town, which had a much easier name than her company, Eris. Skystar never really understood why her mother didn't just move them across town, but I guess that was it because this way they were much closer to the ocean? Maybe. Ever since Skystar was young, and her mother was absolutely loving the ocean, collecting shells, swimming, even just the sights and smells that made them happy. And if they moved, it would be much harder to go to the ocean as much as they did. Skystar ripped open the top of the envelope and tore out the letter, climbing up the stairs into her room inside. Her room was decorated with shells and other artifacts she found in the ocean. Sea stars, sand dollars, you name it. Anything you could think of, she probably had it in her room. On her desk, she had two shells, Shelly and Sheldon, that she always kept close to her heart. She remembered the fact that Pinkie absolutely loved her clams, and her heart swelled at the thought of her friend. Inside the envelope was a pink, Pinkie's favorite color, obviously, piece of paper with squiggly writing that Skystar had gotten used to reading after about a month of struggling. "My dearest Skystar." Skystar giggled at the formal greeting. Pinkie was just such a dork. "As you might already know, spring break is coming up and I have a week off school. And Twilight said I should be studying, but forget that. I want to see my bestest, most amazing, most fantasticalest friend ever. It's been far too long, Sky, and I want to spend all the time in the world with you. I would love to come over this Friday afternoon to see you. Excitedly awaiting your next letter, your dearest Pinkie Pie." Skystar had to reread the letter 2 or 3 times. She could hardly believe her eyes. It's been at least a year and a half since she saw Pinkie Pie last time. Excitement made Skystar race to the door and stumble down the stairs. In the foyer, Novo was standing in a suit. She obviously just got home. "Mom! Mom!" Skystar cried, waving her arms in excitement. Novo held up her finger and pointed to her phone. Skystar bounced on her toes, clutching the letter in her hands. Finally, Novo hung up the phone and turned to her daughter, smiling, her eyebrow raised. "What is it, dear?" she asked, sounding slightly exasperated by her daughter's beaming excitement. "Pinkie Pie just sent me a letter saying that she can come over to spring break soon, but I don't know spring break, so I don't know." Novo held up her hands for her to stop. "What?" she asked. "Slow down, Skystar. I didn't catch a word of that." Skystar took a deep breath, still panting from her long rambling. "Pinkie Pie said she can come over," she cried, throwing her arms up into the air. "'Cause spring break starts this Friday." Novo looked surprised, but she smiled. "That's great, dear," she said, nodding. Skystar was a little upset by her not very excited tone. "You two can spend all the time in the world together, then." Skystar jumped again. "I know," she squealed. "I'm gonna write back right away." She trampled back up the stairs and grabbed a piece of blue, her second favorite color besides yellow, paper, and a pretty pen she decorated herself with tiny seashells. She bit at the tip of her pen before she began writing. "My dearest Pinkie Pie," she began, copying Pinkie's funny little formal intro. "I'm so excited to hear you can come over next week. I can't wait to see you. It's been like almost 2 years since we saw each other. We're totally gonna do so much together. It's gonna be so much fun. Oh my gosh, I just want to keep blabbling on, but I don't want to send this and hear back from you ASAP. Okay, I'm done. Alright, so I'm excited, okay? Sincerely, your dearest, darlingest friend, Skystar." She wrote her name with pretty swirls and made the period a little heart. Then she drew a silly little face in the corner of the paper. Pinkie told her she loved her drawings, and it always made her feel warm and fuzzy when Pinkie complimented her art style. She grabbed the yellow envelope and slid it in, licking it and closing it tight. After writing her best friend's address, she hopped downstairs, swung open the door, and neatly set her little envelope into the mailbox. Excitement tingles, as her and Pinkie like to call them, ran from Skystar's fingertips to her toes. Silently, she prayed to Celestia that the letter would get to her best friend soon. Pinkie's letter came 3 days later, Wednesday, 2 days before the day they'd meet up again. Skystar was ecstatic when she found the pink envelope in her mailbox. She burst into the house and tore it open again, reading the letter as quickly as she could. "Hi, Sky! I'm so excited to meet you this Friday, and I'm glad you are too. I know I didn't mention this in the last letter, but as long as Miss Novo says yes, I really wanted to go on a road trip with you over this spring break. I know it's super sudden, but I hope you and your mom say yes. Love, Pinkie." Skystar immediately ran into the kitchen where her mom was standing and showed her the letter, begging her to let her go. No. And with a single word, Skystar's excitement shattered. "Mom!" she whined, slumping her shoulders. "Please, I'll do anything. I haven't seen Pinkie in such a long time." "Skystar," her mother began, putting on her "I'm going to be lecturing you for half an hour and you're just going to have to sit and listen's" voice. "Pinkie Pie is coming over. The only notice being a week beforehand, and now she wants to just drag you away. I won't have her drag you around who knows where. It's not like I'm leaving with a complete stranger." Skystar huffed, crossing her arms. "I've known Pinkie for years now, Mom. Come on. You know I'll be safe. And you know, Pinkie is a good person. Please, Mom. We haven't seen each other in a whole year, and I don't know how long it will be after this." Novo gave her a thoughtful look. She laughed when her daughter gave her the best puppy dog face she had. "Fine," she sighed. "But you'll need to call me every night, okay?" Once again, excitement tingles burst through Skystar. She squealed and jumped up and down. "Oh, I will," Skystar promised, pulling her mom into a big, tight hug. Thank you." Novo laughed and hugged her back. "You're welcome, dear," she said. "Now, go start packing. It's gonna be a long week." Skystar raced back upstairs and grabbed her best clothes, folding them quickly and shoving them into a suitcase, which ruined the point of folding altogether. She grabbed her swimsuit just in case they went to a motel with a pool, and grabbed Shelly and Sheldon, gently placing them on top of the suitcase. She grabbed her pretty blue and yellow backpack and put the rest of her essentials into it, ready to go. She squealed again, bouncing on her toes in excitement. Sleep probably won't be coming tonight. Skystar was right. She slept fitfully the whole night. Her excitement tingles kept her awake. Her heart was doing somersaults in her chest as she thought about meeting her friend again, and as she finally drifted into sleep, she dreamed about waking up and rushing over to hug Pinkie as she pulled into the driveway. When she woke up, she leaped out of bed, changed out of her pajamas as quick as she could, ran a brush through her hair once, and rushed downstairs, hoping she'd see Pinkie in the foyer. But she didn't. She only saw Novo, talking away on her phone and writing on a notepad. Once Skystar reached the last step, Novo hung up and smiled at her. "I'll be back from work by 1 this afternoon at the latest," she informed her daughter. "Don't leave until I'm back, okay?" "Will do, Mom," Sky said, wading over to her and giving her a big hug. "I'll see you later." When Novo left, Skystar spent most of her time looking out the window and waiting for Pinkie. She made herself breakfast and ate in front of the window, reading in front of the window, and pretty much just stared out at the window until she saw a car she recognized pull up into the driveway. Time seemed to freeze. Skystar almost couldn't move when she saw the fluffy pink hair of her friend and saw her step out of the car, pulling out her suitcase. She squealed, running to the door and tearing it open. Pinkie had just barely gotten to the mailbox when Skystar collided into her with a big hug, nearly shoving her over. "You're here!" she squealed, burying her face into her friend's fluffy hair. "I've missed you so much! I'm so happy you're here, Pinkie! We'll do so much together and we'll have so much fun!" She began to ramble, and her words almost incomprehensible as she stumbled over herself, fumbling for the correct words. Pinkie giggled and just pushed her away. "Hey, silly!" She laughed, her big blue eyes sparkling with happiness. "It's good to see you, too. I'm so excited to leave." Skystar grabbed the suitcase from Pinkie's hand and led it into the house, explaining to her that they couldn't leave until Novo came home. Pinkie was completely fine with waiting for Skystar's mother to return, and they decided just to sit in Skystar's room until she returned. Skystar set Pinkie's suitcase on the bed and sat down next to it. "So, what are we gonna do?" Pinkie asked, smiling to Skystar as she sat next to her. She placed her hand on Skystar's own, squeezing it, giggling. "I guess we'll just wait until Mom gets home," she said, shrugging. "I didn't exactly plan anything for our wait. Sorry." She rubbed the back of her neck. Pinkie nodded and got up, letting go of Skystar's hand, which made her sad. "I just want to hug her forever." "I'm gonna take a shower," Pinkie told her. "I spent all day in that car. I'm super smelly." Skystar giggled and nodded. "The bathroom is just next to my room," she told her. "To the right." Pinkie thanked her and left the room with some new clothes and her own hairbrush. Skystar wondered how she brushed her hair when it was just so fluffy and curly. "Glad my hair is straight," she thought, watching Pinkie leave the room. Skystar heard the door close and the water began to run. Skystar laid in silence for a long while, the only noise being the water running from the other room. She decided to sit at her desk and doodle while Pinkie showered. She drew little pictures of her and Pinkie together, more tingles of excitement rushing through her. She jumped when two arms wrapped around her shoulders and wet hair brushed against her cheek. "Pinkie!" she squeaked, turning to her friend. Her hair was still wet, making it flat and straight. It looked much different than the normal poofiness. "Your hair is still wet." Pinkie giggled and grabbed her brush, dragging it through her hair. "Sorry," she said as Skystar stuck her tongue at her. As soon as Pinkie finished brushing her hair, the two heard the doors downstairs open. Nova was home, excitement burst through Skystar, and she looked at Pinkie, who was already rushing through the door and downstairs to where Skystar's mom was standing in the foyer, setting her keys down on the table. "Hello, Pinkie," Novo said, smiling at the pink-haired teen in front of her. "How are you today?" Pinkie smiled politely at Novo. "I'm doing well. How about you?" Skystar bounced up and down, feeling impatient. She wanted to leave as soon as her mother got home, but she knew Novo well enough to know that she would want to ask Pinkie to stay for lunch and maybe even dinner. She groaned inwardly, but remembered to herself to be happy that Pinkie was there in the first place. "I can be patient for a bit longer," she thought. "Would you like to stay for lunch before you leave?" Called it. After lunch, Pinkie and Novo just sat and talked for a while, mostly about college and Novo's company. Skystar stared at the clock, and it was 2 p.m. Once the conversation died down, Skystar stepped in. "Hey, when are we gonna go?" Novo giggled and nodded to her daughter. "You can leave whenever you want, dear," she said. "I just wanted to catch up with Miss Pinkie Pie." Pinkie Pie giggled. "Oh, cool," she said. "I'll put our suitcases in Pinkie's car." She raced upstairs, hearing Pinkie's giggle, and started talking to Novo again. She grabbed her and Pinkie's suitcases and her backpack, looking at Sheldon and Shelley. "Sorry, guys," she said, kissing her fingers and placing them on their heads. "I'll be back in a little bit. I don't want to lose you." She took her case downstairs and put it in her car, along with her pack as well. "Pinkie!" she called to the door. She saw Pinkie at the door, still speaking with Novo. They walked slowly towards the car before finally Pinkie stepped inside, saying goodbye to Novo. "Bye, Mom," Sky said, hugging her mom tight and kissing her cheek. "I'll see you next week. I promise." "Of course," Novo sighed. She placed her hand on Skystar's cheek. "I'll miss you." Skystar hugged her once more before stepping into the car. "I'll call you tonight, I promise." She closed the door and rolled down the window. Pinkie started the car and began to drive away. "Stay safe," Novo called, her voice stern. "Oh, we will, Skystar laughed, waving to her mother. Skystar's fingers tingled. Finally, her adventure began.